The Farm Bureau phone line. Check out favrates.com and go with the home team, Mississippi Farm Bureau. We should start by saying thank you. Ben Ingram has been kind of our connection to Major League Baseball and specifically the Braves all season long and for several years, but this year's been a little bit different because he is the lead voice on the radio of the Braves, and yet I think every single time we've asked, and it's probably been half a dozen times throughout the course of the season, going back to end of spring training into game one, through now, he has been very kind with his time, and we just kind of wanted to put a bow on this year that finished with a world championship for the Atlanta Braves. Ben Ingram, voice of the Braves, joining us on the Farm Bureau phone line. Ben, I really, really do appreciate it. It's been quite the season. Let's start, though, at the very end. What was it like to be a part of a championship parade?
Man, it's probably one of the coolest things I've ever experienced in my life, to be quite honest. It was overwhelming. It was joyful. It was amazing. And you knew it would be good. You knew winning a championship would be good and a parade would be good. But now after living it and seeing how much better it was than I expected, I want to do it again really soon.
Yeah, you kind of want to get greedy. You know, it's funny. Over the last couple of decades, I mean, there are a couple of those that stand out in my mind. I think about the championship celebrations for the Bulls when they were in Grant Park, and they would show that just sea of people. I think about what it looked like when the Yankees won, a world championship or another New York sports team, and they had the parade down through the Canyon of Heroes with the ticker tape and all of that. But this was a little bit different because it was kind of two parades in one with a big celebration at the end, right?
It was like a doubleheader. We went through downtown and then went through Cobb Parkway up through the Battery and to the ballpark. It was kind of cool. We had an intermission in between, got to eat lunch and everything, but went the traditional parade route in downtown Atlanta. We started at the old grounds for Fulton County Stadium, right there where the monument is for Hank's 715th home run. We started right there, went through downtown Atlanta. Came to a stopping point, took 75 north up to the Cobb Energy Center and restarted again and took it through Cobb Parkway and into the Battery. And I've never seen that many people. I've definitely never seen that many people excited over the same thing in my life. Everyone was so happy. Everyone was thrilled. This meant a lot for so many people. And to see them all come out the way that they did, they estimated 1 million people were there, and I believe it.
Are you serious?
Yeah. It was unreal, man. It was like I said, it was one of the most overwhelming things I've ever seen in my life.
Was that a reminder to you of kind of the responsibility that goes with this job? I mean, not all 1 million of those people listen on the radio, but probably at some point, most of them do, at least for a little while. Was that a little bit of a reminder of, and there are a lot of people that really care a lot about this?
Yeah, I think so. I think you go into it knowing that this is it's such a unique set of circumstances for what we do with the Braves Radio Network, because we're not limited to just a city or even a state. We're an entire region. I mentioned that before. I just find it so unique that we would encompass an entire region and have lots of Braves fans amongst multiple states. I don't think that too many other teams would be able to say that. So you knew that what we just accomplished as a team meant a lot for so many people, but to be the voice that brings them their favorite players and the biggest moments and things like that. It's an enormous task, but it's one that I've always wanted, and to have that opportunity, it's so humbling and such a true blessing to have that opportunity every single day. And I just like that we were able to bring them a season that was one of the all-time greats in the history of this franchise. I know it meant a lot to a lot of people.
Does the radio guy get a World Series ring?
That's what we're hearing. That's what I'm expecting, which is going to be crazy. I mean, think about that.
Now,
I
are
think
you a jewelry
all along,
guy? Would you wear it?
I think I'd wear it for. I'd definitely wear it for opening day. And maybe in the postseason, maybe you wear it. It would definitely be, it's something that I've thought about because my biggest goal was just broadcasting in the big leagues. I just wanted to be a big league broadcaster, and anything that happens beyond that is incredible. And you really don't dream of, I mean, you want to call the biggest games, you want to have the biggest moments, but I don't know that when you're striving for this, you think about getting to call those types of games. You just want to call big league games. So getting an opportunity to do that and call a winner, it's incredible. I think about some broadcasters out there who are just tremendous some of the best around who have never even called a World Series game. And I just got to call a World Series. I'd never even been to a World Series game prior to game one of this year. And it's a game that I worked. I think about when I'm dead and gone, these calls lasting and being attached to those moments. I think you mentioned having a ring. That's something that could be passed down in my family for decades after I'm gone, which is an amazing thought. But it's truly amazing, and just like I said, so humble to be a part of something like this.
All right, you just said something a second ago. The call, your voice, that will kind of live on through the sports ages. So grade yourself and do it for the NLCS, so the final out, and then final out of the World Series. When you went back and listened, did you have the man? Yeah, I nailed that. Did it come out the way you wanted to? Had you thought or played out in your head how you might handle a final out?
I thought about it a lot. I didn't script what I wanted to say. I've heard other broadcasters do that, and I don't know. It makes me cringe a little bit to think about scripting a moment like that, because you don't know what that moment's going to be. It could have been a triple play to end the game. It could have been a robbed homer. It could have been a strikeout. It could have been anything. So all I could think of was I just wanted to be accurate. I just wanted to be clear, and I wanted to be right. I knew going into the ball game that, and this is going into Game 5 when they were up 3-1. I knew there was a chance that they could pull this off. I wasn't going to script some clever line or anything like that. I wanted to call the play, establish what happened. I wanted to say the year. I wanted to timestamp it with the year in my call. And I felt really good about it. I felt like if I could do that and present an accurate call, then it would stand the test of time. I've heard plenty of other calls that maybe in the moment they sound great or whatever, and it's scripted out. But if you get down the road, maybe it doesn't stand the test of time. I felt like if I was accurate and time-stamped it and said exactly what happened, then I felt like that would stand the test of time. If you really want to think about it, when it comes to calling the final out of a championship, and I don't mean to sound arrogant or anything like that, but it really is an easy call to make. All you're establishing is that team just won it all. You want your voice to match what just happened on the field. I think it's a lot harder to call a two-out bases-loaded gapper, when you got all sorts of things going on. You want the biggest calls that you can get, but when it comes to it being over, that's exactly what it is. That final out's made, team celebrating, they've won a championship, and to me it's my job to document that accurately, and that's really all I wanted to do, and I felt really good about it.
Did your heart skip a beat when Dansby looked to second and then kind of double clutched on the throw to first? He
totally deked me. Because, like I said, I was putting so much pressure on myself to make sure the call is right. And if you hear the call, he squares his shoulders to second base, and I never do this, but I had a pretty significant verbal pause there where I'm just waiting on what he's going to do, where I said something to the effect of something like that. And I feel like I rarely do that, but I thought he was about to go to second. Ozzie wasn't going to get there, and then he threw to first base. And he totally deked me out because I thought for sure he was going to second base to end that thing. So I need to be ready to say exactly what happened as clearly as possible. And then he squared back around to first base and went that way and got the final out. And I'm so glad it happened that way because I loved seeing Freddie get the final out and catch the final out. But, yeah, it was just a second, but where he just kind of shook you there for a second. You wanted to make sure you got it right.
What are you going to do now? So do you get to completely lay out from now until the start of spring training, or are there responsibilities still left?
I feel like that question gets asked all the time. What do you do in the off season? And my answer is the same every time. And my answer is I get to have a life. So I will spend time with my girlfriend. I'll travel. I'll hang out with my friends. I'll get to go to dinner at restaurants that I actually like rather than eating at a ballpark. And go home for Thanksgiving, go home for Christmas, see family and friends. I like to say yes to everything that's presented to me in the off season because I have to say no the rest of the season. So I'm going to get a ski trip in, going to get to New York for a little while, and anything that else that comes my way or my friends or my family say, let's do this. My goal is to say yes to everything.